A long time ago, the Doctor made a deal in the Tower of London. 20 million Zygons walk among us, in human form, living undetected in peace and harmony. But cracks are shown in this delicate peace. Humans and Zygons are disappearing. In sitting apartment blocks, lifts are going missing. And far below the streets of Britain, alien pots are growing in secret caverns. To top it all off, Unit's scientific advisor Osgood sends a desperate message to the Doctor. But since Osgood is long dead, how is that even possible? Welcome, friends and companions. Welcome to the Random Entertainment channel. Here is your host, Enigmatic Joker. How are you doing today? Sci-fi and fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music, and sports. And we don't do religion or politics because that's not entertainment. Keep it very random because we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random because we broadcast on non-fixed times, actually on many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because we have random also because we'll have no guest or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in the live stream panel. So feel free, if you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube, and we will look what is possible. The Discord server is called What a Surprise, Random Entertainment Channel Tag Doctor Who. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker, that's who I am. And today we will do a 12th Doctor story, the Psychic Invasion. Oh, Peter Capaldi. Yeah. So here is some general info about this TV story. So the Psychic Invasion was the seventh episode of Series 9 of Doctor Who. It served as a sequel to The Day of the Doctor, having a beginning sequence dedicated to the relative plot point of this story. The episode saw the return of Osgood, curiously after her death in the Series 8 finale, Death in Heaven, with this episode revealing that before Missy's Cyberman invasion, Osgood and her Zygon duplicate had become so identical to each other that they refused to say which was the Zygon and which was the human. So making it unknown which Osgood was actually killed by Missy. So it's a little bit of a sort of open end, and that is now further in detail in this wonderful story. Uh, Actually, there's a continuation. This is a two-part story, actually. Uh, we have first have the Zygon invasion, and after this, this story of this or this episode, the Zygon inversion. But that is for another time. Not for this live stream where we focus on the Zygon invasion. So if you haven't watched this episode yet, I highly recommend you to do that and then dive into the plot. Those are spoiler. And watch this and then come back. So, drink, a lot of water. Okay, we will dive now into the plot. So, the episode opens with once upon a time, there were three doctors. It then shows the war, 10th and 11th doctors giving grim stares from the day of the doctor. To Osgood is shown cowering As the Zygon takes her form and asks for her inhaler and one treaty. So the doctors are shown erasing the memories of both humans and Zygons in the conflict, forcing them to create a peace treaty. On video, two Osgoods appear seated next to each other, a box that looks like the moment. Because Osgood is a fan of the Doctor, one is wearing a bow tie and scarf. The other is wearing a question mark jumper. They explain Operation Double, the peace treaty with the Zygons. 20 million Zygons have been given asylum on Earth so long as they maintain humans' forms. Zygons, just like humans, have the capacity for both great evil and great good. The box is the Osgood box, which can start and end a war with humans and Zygons. If Zygon is killed, regardless of the circumstances, it will spark rebellion. So, fast forward to right after Missy's failed attempt to turn humanity, living and death, into an army of Cybermen, Osgood is in a graveyard crying for the loss of her twin. She leaves flowers for the other Osgood on her grave that simply reads, My sister. 2015 New Mexico, the town of Truth or Consequences is under attack. Osgood is fleeing in all the chaos as the residents fight back against the attackers. Taking shelter in the police department, Osgood pulls up the doctor's number on her phone to call him. But however, her hearing sound entered, Osgood hides on her desk and sends a text to him instead. Just when she thinks she is safe, a Zygon grabs her. Ooh. Meanwhile, inside the TARDIS, the 12th Doctor is rocking out to Amazing Grace on his electric guitar. Yes, he plays it very well. He's very musical, this Doctor. So, hearing the console beeping, he stops playing and rushes over to the monitor to see an incoming message from Osgood. Nightmare Scenario, it's called. The Doctor looks on grimly, realizing that a break in the ceasefire has finally come. Later, the Doctor is sitting on a swing in a park trying to call Clara. Not wanting to draw attention, he codenames himself Dr. Disco. Yeah, also linked to music. The Doctor leaves a message saying that he is keeping an eye on two dangerous creatures, which are two little girls playing on a slide. The Doctor attempts talking to them. It is revealed that they are the Zygon High Command, Jemima and Claudette. However, the Doctor receives a call from Kate Stewart from Units. He attempts to make her see that it is only a splinter group of Zygons wanting war, not the entirety of the race. Unfortunately, at that moment, the leaders are captured by the splinter group Truth or Consequences. Left with nothing to do, the Doctor decides to go into Unit for more resources. Meanwhile, Clara arrives from work and checks her phone to discover that the Doctor has left over 127 messages on her phone. my. She starts to listen to her voicemail but finds a child crying on the stairs of her apartment complex. Learning that he cannot find his parents, Clara follows Sandeep back to his apartment, finding it empty. However, the moment she turns around, the child's parents appear, saying nothing is wrong despite the boy's screams. Clara is concerned by this, but is next seen leaving without much of a care. She calls the doctor, asking if he seriously called himself Dr. Disco. So, in the meantime, the doctor learns about the current situation. The splinter group is holding Osgood hostage in order to get information on the Osgood box. Kate also explains that there have always been two Osgoods, the human and the Zygon, ever since the ceasefire, while the doctor says that both of them were real. They refuse to single each other out as a human and Zygon, seeing each other as equals. Clara joins them. So, the doctor, Clara, and Kate and Jack head to the location of the Zygon nest. It is hidden under Drakeman Junior School. The Zygon's high commands took the form of two girls posted on the notice board. Kate explains that the newborn Zygons took the form of whatever UK citizen was closest to them. Afterwards, they were dispersed around the world to blend in and live their lives as humans. Inside the basement room, the doctor finds the control node responsible for communicating with the Zygons and birthing more of them. As the doctor works the controls, Clara asks if he wants to be alone with it. He explains that it is how the Zygon technology works. He builds up the thoughts of the Zygons around the world, which is of great paranoia. They receive a new message, which shows the High Command being executed by the rebels, who declare themselves the new leaders. The group identifies themselves as truth or consequences. However, Clara states she heard it was a town in New Mexico on Trivial Pursuit. It's also where Osgood went missing after a Zygon outbreak. Kate also reveals that the unit has found what appears to be a Zygon training post in Turmesitan, which may serve as a TOC's base. The doctor tells Kate to investigate New Mexico to find out what caused the Zygons to attack. He tells Clara and Jack to remain in the UK while he heads to Turkmenistan. He asks Kate if unit still has the presidential aeroplane, prompting Clara to remind him that he hates being president of Earth. The doctor states he likes bouncing around in a big plane. At an airport, the doctor boards boat one, giving a double peace sign to Clara and Kate. Clara wonders if they have an effective weapons against Zygons. Kate tells her of Z67, created by a unit naval officer back in the 70s or 80s. Yes, the time of, yeah, of Pertwee and John Baker, actually, which basically turns Zygons inside out. When Clara asks about its location, Kate tells her it was taken by someone with its hardest. Kate leaves for America. Clara asks Jack if they can stop by her flat before they do anything. It is not a problem. Once Clara collects what she needs, she and Jack spot a body being moved into a lift. However, once they check it on the ground floor, there is no one in it. They board the lift, finding a red ooze coming from the bottom panel. They pull it back to find that the Zygons have modified the lift. Activating the device, the lift goes to a subterranean area full of pipes. Jack states that they need to bring in reinforcements. So, in Turkmenistan, the doctor arrives at the command post, giving a flamboyant introduction for himself, only to be told that they know who he is. He learns that they are about to bomb the village. However, the controller of the remote controlled bomber sees Zygons have taken the form of her aunt and child. The doctor realizes that the Zygon's powers have grown. They can now read minds and take the form of whatever their targets love most. Despite the predictable military suggestion for aggression, the doctor suggests looking for Osgood before trying to bomb the town. Arriving in the Zygon occupied village, the doctor informs his unit troops to avoid killing as much as possible, as they are going to need someone to negotiate with. Zygons expect their base disguised as various loved ones of the troops. The soldiers are torn, but ready to kill. Despite the order to fire, the soldiers are persuaded to come inside. The doctor scouts know in disbelief. Unit soldiers are still this stupid? Huh? He and the head of the operation run inside, finding the soldiers reduced to piles of wire. Giving only 10 minutes before unit begins bombing through or crunchiness splinter group, the doctor searches the now empty Zygon base, finding Osgood tied up in the cellar. They barely manage to escape as the bombing begins early. A Zygon returns to kill them and gets knocked out by the debris, allowing easy capture. So back in the UK, unit arrives to exterminate the Zygon pots. Clara takes a gun, oddly elated at the idea of violence. Jack is suspicious of the spots, but Clara says that they need to destroy them or face whatever the Zygons are creating with them. So she pulls a gunk of a pot, revealing a copy of her inside the pot. Clara is shocked she has been cloned. However, Jack points out that Zygons do not clone humans, they replace them. She then comes to the horrifying conclusion that Clara is a Zygon and orders her troops to flee. However, the Zygons cut them off, blocking off every available way out. Jack begs for the Zygons to let them live, but fake Clara orders their murders. The unit personnel scream in horror. Flashback. Right after Clara sees Sandy being carried away, a Zygon zaps her head and knocks her out. It takes her form, saying her name is Bonnie. Zygon needed someone close to the doctor to impersonate, so they could remove him to ease their takeover. So that explains some things. At the same time, Kate is investigating what caused Zygons to attack, truth or consequences. Finding an officer with a badge, see Norlander, Kate is shown all that remains of the rest of the citizens are piles of sparking wires. Kate refuses to answer whether or not she brought back up. And inside the police station, Norlander explains that one of the Brits turned into a reptile one day. Then the rest attacked the residents. So Kate wonders how it happened. Norlander states that the young Zygon had trouble maintaining its body print. Kate becomes wide-eyed. She's talking to a member of the splinter group. The Zygon reverts back to its true shape to kill her. Kate readies her gun. Moments later, Kate confirms unit in North America has been neutralized to Bunny. Bunny states that unit is almost neutralized on her part. There are just 2 threats left. Meanwhile, the doctor and Osgood chat on the plane, which is heading back to the United Kingdom. He compliments her on the question mark motive. She notes that he used to wear them late in his 4th incarnation to early in his 7th. The doctor smiles, telling her that he did not stop wearing them. I've got question marks underpants. Haha. Osgood jokes that it makes one wonder what the question is. What's the question? Doctor Who? The doctor tells Osgood that he will keep her secret. She's the original. If she was the Zygon Osgood, she would have changed back in days after Missy killed her quote-unquote sister. However, Osgood tells the doctor that he is wrong. He's thinking about the rules of infiltration. She explains that Zygons only need the original alive, if they wish to mimic their personality. Their form, however, can be kept indefinitely. However, should they choose to revert back to Zygon form, they'll be able to change back into that form, as the original is not around. Startled by this news, the doctor asks whether Osgood is the Zygon or the human. However, Osgood starts that she is herself and no one else. Their captive comes around and the doctor begins to try interrogation. The doctor recognizes the doctor as president of the world, stating that Spinner Group wants the world. However, the doctor is quick to point out that the Zygons are outnumbered by the humans. It laughs at the doctor, stating that they have had months to infiltrate all the countries of the world. Truth or Consequences has won the first battle, but now it is time to initiate the war to take the planet from humanity. At that time, Bonnie is watching the plane fly by. She puts together a rocket launcher and takes aim. The doctor calls Clara, only to get Bonnie, learning that he is talking to the leader of the Splinter Group, Truth or Consequences. However, the doctor immediately realizes the danger, warning Osgood when he launches the rocket, saying goodbye to the doctor. And this, my friends, is the end of this episode. In the next episode of the story, we will continue the story. But that's for another live stream. You have to subscribe to this channel to know when the next episode of the story will be. But for now, okay, I will mention some cast members. Of course, first of all, the 12th Doctor is played by Peter Capaldi. Clara is played by Jenna Coleman. Osgood is played by Ingrid Oliver. Kate is played by Gemma Redgrave. Jack is played by Jake Griffiths. Claudette is played by Cleopatra Dickens. Jemima is played by Sasha Dickens. Walsh is played by Rebecca France. And Norlander is played by Gretchen Eekhoff. And Zygons is played by Aidan Cook and Tom Wilton. And there are other actors, but for this is the main characters. So, next. Some world building. So, in this episode, the teacher takes her class to the play area. The second thing is, and the unit command base has been set up in Turmesistan. And the third thing is that Tariata Aqua is a restaurant with posters around Truth or Consequences. Locations is Drakeman Junior School. Drakeman Junior School is located in Dulwich. Organizations Jack was able to hack CCTV from Scotland Yard, and Truth or Consequences Police Department was established in 1902. So world building individuals. Daniel Powell was the quote unquote approving officer on one of the Truth or Consequences closed case files. Another thing in relation to individuals is that file pertains to Colin Derbyshire, born 1993, living on the address Team Fictional Close. And then third thing is that it also details a witness, Daniel Torrance, born 21/12/1993, living on the address 72 Made Up Crescent NM. So another thing in individuals, last thing is that according to the statement, Derbyshire was placed under arrest after exhibiting loud behavior under the influence of alcohol towards other members of the public. Powell and his partner confronted Derbyshire, and the offender attempted to assault a police officer but was subdued and detained. So the officers gave him his rights and took him into custody. So now some world building in relation to the doctor. There's a portrait Oh, the first Doctor, William Hartnell, that hangs in the unit's safe house in South London. Second thing in relation to Doctor is that Doctor plays Amazing Grace on his guitar in the beginning of the episode. Many it's a very musical Doctor, 12th Doctor. Yeah, plays guitar very well. So the third thing about Doctor is that the Doctor refers to Jemima and Claudette as quote unquote Monster High and Cinderella, based on their backpacks. And last thing, world building Doctor. The Doctor gives a Richard Nixon double peace sign pose before boarding boat one. Now some world building on Clara. Clara's voicemail greeting says she's either on the tube or in outer space. And the second thing is that as quote unquote Clara, Bonnie claims she heard about Truth or Consequences being named after the TV series Truth or Consequences on the game Trivial Pursuit. Something about Osgood, a poster in Osgood's office says that the White House has appointed an alien ambassador. Second thing about Osgood is that the Doctor gave the Osgoods an Osgood box that was only to be used in a nightmare scenario and if Operation Double was broken. And the last thing about Osgood is that Osgood has a TARDIS phone number. One of the, yeah, there are not so many people that has the TARDIS phone number. So she's a very important, in fact, from one of the short lines to the Doctor. So she uses a question mark as its contact photo. Another thing, world building in two Zygons. The Zygon rebels have training camps, and the Zygons use pods to contain humans, and the places the Zygons have been dispersed, including the Mexico border, North Asia, West Africa, and Australia. And last thing in the world building in relation to influences is one thing, is that viewing the story as an urban thriller, David Netheim looked to movies like The Bourne Supremacy for visual inspiration. So the Bourne series. Yeah. Okay, that's the world building. I have some story notes. The episode had the working title of Invasion of the Zygons. Second note is that the Radiant Times program listing was accompanied by a small color shot of Osgood and the Doctor with accompanying caption, quote, Doctor Who, 8:15 p.m. Osgood is snatched by aliens, prompting a round-the-world rescue mission. Third story note is that the quote-unquote Clara in most of this episode is a Zygon uppercut, making this in a limited sense second consecutive episode in which Clara has only a brief appearance. Third thing is that Peter Capaldi and Rebecca Front previously worked together on the thick of it. And last story note is that the strong subtext and the story concerning contemporary immigration and terrorism has been noted by many commentators and reviewers and has been widely discussed on social media. So now we go to the continuity cause. Every Doctor, every era, every story, every episode is in some way linked to each other, in relation to each other, influence each other. So continuity context is also important. By the way, I say it again. Choose your own canon. Choose your own canon. And again, also there is some interpretation of a story or episode. And you will see, one person will see other things in an episode than another. So, yes, interesting. So continuity in context. We try to do some continuity in context. So, first thing, the Human Zygon Treaty is referenced. The Doctor and Kate talk about there always having been two Osgoods ever since the ceasefire. There's a link to TV story The Day of the Doctor, and since then a version of Osgood has died. That's a link to Dead in Heaven, reference to that. Second thing is that Kate mentions a previous attempt the invasion by the Zygons, which occurred in the 1970s or 1980s. That is a TV story, The Terror of the Zygons. That is actually that is the seven-part story with for Doctor Tom Baker. Third thing is that the doctor mentioned that he knocked a Zygon once. It's also linked to the TV, the day of the doctor. Third thing is that Kate wants to bump areas of the Earth, and the doctor asks if that's always the solution. She almost detonated a nuclear bomb beneath London when she first encountered the Zygons. Also linked to the day of the doctor. A fifth thing is that Osgood reminds the doctor that he used to wear question marks on his clothes. It's linked to classic Who TV story The Leisure Hive. Uh, Castrovalva, that's for Fifth Doctor. The Awakening, the Twin Dilemma, that's the Sixth Doctor. And Time and the Rani. So the Doctor counters that he never stopped wearing question marks as he wears question marks underpants. Already mentioned earlier in this live stream. His eighth incarnation was seen wearing question marks boxer shorts. That is in the prose Seeing Eye, and in the comic The Glorious Dead. A sixth thing is that a weapon called the Z-67, confiscated by the Doctor, was by Harry Sullivan, is, by the way, a fourth Doctor companion for Dr. Tom Baker. And so there's so it was invented by Harry Sullivan shortly after he stopped traveling with the fourth Doctor. That is in the already mentioned The Terror of the Zygons. Harry Sullivan was mentioned as having worked at chemical and biological weapons facility, Porton Down. We've seen it in Maldron, and that's a Fifth Doctor story. Seventh thing is that Claire is once again shown having authority with units, up to and including being able to command unit soldiers to use deadly force. Is it in The Magician's Apprentice? And the eighth and last thing is that the Doctor resumes his title of President of Earth and requests of his presidential plane just so he can bounce around. So link and reference and relation to TV story Death in Heaven. So, and that, my friends, is the Zygon invasion. And again, this story is a two-parter, but today we'll only do episode 1 of this two-part story. And in another time, we will continue this story with the Zygons, part 2, Zygon inversion. But that is for another time, another live stream. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. And we do now the commercials, and then we'll end. So, sci-fi and fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about the beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music, and sport. Random, because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random, because we'll broadcast on non-fixed times, actually on many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random, also, because we have no guests or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in the live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or you. What is possible? Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel. Tag Doctor Who You'll probably find me above in high in the list because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. You're an host, Enigmatic Joker. That's me. That's me. So I hope you enjoy this. I see you next time. For now, bye bye.